Good morning, students. Let us continue with the remaining part of the poem The Lotos Eaters by Alfred Lord Tennyson, stanza number 7 of the choric song sung by the companions of Ulysses. But prompt on beds of amaranth and moly, how sweet while warm airs lull us blowing slowly. With half dropped eyelids still, beneath a heaven dark and holy, to watch the long bright river drawing slowly his waters from the purple hill. They continue to emphasize on the fact that it is again going to be good. It is again going to be sweet to stay here, to rest here amid the different objects of nature, amid the plants, amid the greenery, amid the streams and the mountains. They say, but prompt on the beds of amaranth and moly. How sweet. It is going to be very delightful. It is going to be very sweet to recline here, to prompt here, to rest here on the beds of amaranth and moly. There are beds of different flowering plants. It seems as if that particular spot where these flowers are growing, it is a soothing bed, and they say it is very sweet to recline here. Amaranth and moly. Amaranth is the name of a flower, unfading flower. Moly is another name of the flower, a white colored flower. They say that this is going to be very delightful to recline here on the field which is full of amaranth and moly flowers. While warm airs lull us blowing slowly. Meanwhile, the air that is blowing there, it lulls us, it make us sleepy, it make us drowsy. The air that is blowing lowly, blowing very gently, that warm air will bring to us sleep. With half dropped eyelids still beneath a heaven dark and holy, we would remain here, reclining, resting, with half shut eyes, always, continuously, with half dropped eyelids still. Our eyelids, they are half shut, our eyes, they are half shut, and always, constantly, forever, beneath a heaven dark and holy, beneath this sky, which is dark in color, which is sacred in itself, holy in itself. To watch the long bright river drawing slowly his waters from the purple hill. It is again going to be delightful to witness, to watch, to see long bright river. A river, bright in color, shining one. It is coming from the interior and it is flowing slowly. His waters from the purple hill. This river is coming out from the hill, which is purple in color. To hear the dewy echoes calling from cave to cave through the thick twined vine. It is again going to be delightful. It is again going to be sweet enough to hear the very soft echo sound, the very soft sound, that of the falling of dewdrops in the caves. To hear the dewy echoes calling from cave to cave through the thick twinned vine, through the creepers, through the vine, the dewdrops which are falling in the cave, producing a very gentle, a very soft sound. It is very delightful to hear that echoing sound. To watch the emerald colored water falling, it is again going to be delightful. The water, the stream that is falling over the green plants, and because of the reflection of the leaves, the color of the leaves, green color of the leaves, it seemed as if green water is falling down. Emerald colored water is falling down. It is again going to be sweet enough to watch, to see, to observe. To watch the emerald colored water falling through many a woven acanthus red divine. The water that is falling through the acanthus plant. It is woven, it is entangled, it is mixed, and it is sacred enough. It is good to watch that green color water falling down. Only to hear and see the far off sparkling brine. Only what we should do, we should hear and see. No additional work, no labor is going to be there. We just want to hear and see the far off sparkling brine. At a particular distance, the shining sea, we would like to hear the sound of the waves, and we would like to watch, we would like to see the shining sea. Only to hear were sweet, stretched out beneath them. This is going to be delightful. There is no pleasure, there is no delight in the hard work. Where the delight is there, only to hear, only to listen, and it is going to be sweet. By reclining, by resting beneath the pine tree, underneath the pine tree, stretched out beneath the pine. Resting there, stretching their body, sleeping there in a sleeping mode, it is going to be sweet to hear the sound of such objects. They further continue in the 8th stanza and the final stanza. The lotus blooms below the barren peak. The lotus blows every winding creek. All the day, wind breathes low with mellower tone. Through every hollow cave, I lie alone. Round and round the spicy downs, the yellow lotus dust is blown. They say, everywhere, whereas this land is concerned, whether it is a top of the hill, whether it is going to be an inlet, whether it is going to be a field, whether it is going to be a cave, everywhere there is blowing lotus dust. What they say? The lotus blooms below the barren peak. The lotus plant, it blooms on the top of the hill. The lotus flows by every winding creek. It is carried from one place to another with the blow of the wind. Where from? From the winding creek, from a zigzag opening of the mountains, the gap of the mountains, the inlet of the mountains. All the day breathes low. All the day the wind breathes low with mellow tone. Throughout the day, wind keeps on blowing slowly, and it keeps on ripening the lotus fruit. All the day wind breathes low with mellow tone through every hollow cave and alloy alone. Everywhere, through the hollow cave, through the forest, throughout the day, the wind keeps on blowing, the wind keeps on ripening lotus fruit and flower. Round and round, the spicy downs, the yellow lotus dust is blown. With the blow of the wind, the yellow dust of lotus flowers, lotus plant, it keeps on blowing on the ground as well as on the open highlands of that particular land. Thank you very much. Rest we shall take in our next lecture.